Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know this rush hour of Wednesday, October 2. I'm Riza Diaz. Jumpstarting today's rush with explosive revelations at the Senate regarding the controversial ninja cops. Former CIDG Chief Benjamin Magalong claims PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde had tried to intervene in the case of the cops who recycled almost 200 kilos of shabu in Pampanga back in 2013. Mayan Los Baños with the story.
It was in February 2014 when then Police Chief Alan Purisima ordered former Chief of Criminal Investigation and Detection Group Benjamin Magalong to investigate the questionable drug operations in Pampanga. The bypass operation was conducted on November 29, 2013. The raiding team said they have confiscated 38 kilos of shabu, but Magalong's investigation revealed that it's actually 200 kilos.
Nung binabanggit nila, yung mga witnesses mismo ang nagsabi na sa laki, sa sobrang dami ng shabu na nakumpiska doon sa bahay, halos 4 na tao ang nagbubuhat doon sa oversized na maleta. 4 na tao ang nagbubuhat. At kitang-kita nila na pati yung shabu tumutulo pa.
Magalong said drug lord Johnson Lee was arrested in the raid, but Lee allegedly paid officers with 50 million pesos Wencun instead. Right after the issue was reported, Region 3 Police Director Raul Petrasanta immediately relieved then Pampanga Provincial Director Oscar Albayalde. The 13 Pampanga policemen led by Superintendent Rodney Baloyo were charged with administrative and criminal cases. At the Senate hearing, Baloyo denies Magalong's claims. Baloyo said the security guards in the subdivision even held them at gunpoint, misconstruing them as kidnappers. But Senator Richard Gordon was dubious.
Maalagay po sa alanganin yung mga tauhan ko. Bakit? Dahil nga, tinutukan kami sir ng mga security sir.
Kinasuhan mo ba sila pagkatapos? Pulis ka, major, tinutukan ka. Kinasuhan mo o hindi? Simple lang ang tanong ko.
No sir.
10 kayo, tinutukan kayo, umatras kayo. Hindi mo sila kinasuhan?
Senators were also baffled why the officers were not dismissed from service despite Petrasanta signing a dismissal order in 2014.
What took you so long to implement or to deliver the service of the dismissal order? Because it took you 2 years, less than 2 years as a matter of fact, because the date of the decision is November 14, 2014, but the copy of the decision was only served and received by the respondents on March 2 of 2016. Bakit po ganun katagal ang implementation ng dismissal?
Gordon threatened to hold Baloyo in contempt for supposed inconsistencies in the hearing.
Ang dami mo na inconsistencies. Under the rules, we can put you in contempt right now. Have you locked up in Pasay City Jail? I'm not gonna lock you up here. So you better be forthright and honest.
Reporting for News 5, Mayan Los Baños, we are One News.
Now, as proof of Albayalde's alleged role in clearing Pampanga's ninja cops, Magalong says the now controversial police chief called PIDEA Chief Aaron Aquino for a little favor. Rhea Fernandez will give us the details.
In today's Senate hearing, former Criminal Investigation and Detection Group Chief and now Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong named 13 policemen from Pampanga who allegedly recycled confiscated illegal drugs. The alleged ninja cops raided a house in Mexico Town on November 29, 2013, but he said they failed to declare over 100 kilos of seized shabu. He added that they even released the arrested drug lord after being paid of 50 million pesos and they were ordered dismissed but it was not enforced. Magalong eventually revealed that ex-Pampanga Police Head PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde intervened. At that time, Aquino was the PNP Region 3 Director, while Albayalde was leading the NCRPO.
Nag-usap sir kami ni Aaron. And he told me everything. I know, Aaron, that you're in a tight situation. Pero this is a fight between right and wrong.
Aquino initially refused to speak up, but he eventually admitted receiving a call from Albayalde.
Sir, there was a time when Albayalde called me. I cannot recall kung anong date yun, sir, kung anong specific month. But it's between July and December 2016. And nagtatanong siya ng status of the case. Sinabi niya sa akin na, sir, for the meantime, baka pwedeng ipa-review niyo muna yan at ipa-check kasi gusto kong malaman kung ano yung talagang magiging result ng investigation na yan. Sabi ko, ba't mo tinatanong? Kasi sir, mga tao ko yan.
Albayalde confirmed the Aquino statement, but he stressed that it was not an attempt to influence any investigation.
Yes, I asked for the status, only the status. I could not possibly influence an RD or an upper class. Mr. Chairman, I'm just the RD and OIC, acting RD of NCRPO then. So, of course, I would ask them because people, their relatives would also be asking me the fate of their father, the fate of these policemen. It's because I was a former acting provincial director.
Magalong, however, opposed this.
Sabi na niya sa akin at inulit niya kay Presidente na tinawagan siya ni General Albayalde at sinabi sa kanya na huwag implement yung order.
Meanwhile, Albayalde and Magalong pointed fingers to one another over the delay in implementing the dismissal of so-called ninja cops. The ninja cops were axed from their post in November 2014, but the decision only reached them March 2016. They appealed it and just got a one-rank demotion as penalty in 2017. Albayalde said his hands were tied then due to his relief for command responsibility.
There were people there like General Magalong. He was the CIDG then. He was the director of the IDM. He could have done everything. He could have done everything with all his power, with all his authority, to address this matter also. And now we're as if we are being blamed. Again, I bring back the issue when these people were supposed to be dismissed 2014.
During that time, I was keep on following up. Ano na nangyari to sa kaso nung case ni Superintendent Baloyo? At nagtataka sir kami, nabibigyan ako ng feedback na doon sa criminal case, we were concentrating on the criminal case. Sabi, sir, wala pang action ang Department of Justice.
The Justice Department is currently reviewing the case of Pampanga Ninja Cops. Albayalde assured he will abide whatever the outcome will be, even if it is for the dismissal of his former men. For News 5, Ria Fernandez, We Are One News.
Here are the day's biggest stories. Amid the bombshell revelations over at the Senate, President Duterte says Albayalde is not getting sacked, at least for now. In a departure speech before his trip to Russia, Duterte said he will allow the Senate to run its course, adding that more evidence is needed before firing a top official. Duterte is on his way to Moscow for a second visit upon the invitation of his so-called idol, Russian President Vladimir Putin. Now, in the meantime, Justice Secretary Minardo Guevara has been appointed officer in charge while the president is away.
In obedience to the separation of powers and respect for each other's department, I should allow the Senate to complete its investigation.
On the other hand, Supreme Court Administrator Midas Marquez told Senate that police officers should be allowed to destroy illegal drugs confiscated without the involvement of the courts. That's in order to prevent these drugs from being recycled. Courts cannot intervene in the handling of the seized drugs if charges have not been filed or if the operation was made without a search warrant. But for Associate Justice Justado Peralta, the Dangerous Drug Act should be amended to allow police officers to do this.
The court cannot participate in the destruction of drugs if the court has not yet acquired jurisdiction. In other words, if the drugs are not yet in custodia legis, then the court cannot do anything.
Still on the Supreme Court, the SC sitting as Presidential Electoral Tribunal deferred action on the poll protest filed by former Senator Bongbong Marcos against Vice President Leni Robredo. The deliberation and decision was moved to October 8, but the tribunal did not cite any reason for rescheduling. Recall that Marcos claimed Robredo cheated her way into office after he lost the vice presidential race with a difference of about 260,000 votes. Childhood ruined. This is the netizens' collective cry after fire broke out at the Star City complex this morning. And we have JC Cosico live to give us the update latest from Pasay. JC, what's the latest of the situation now?
Riza, as of now, smoke can still be seen outside Star City in Pasay City after a massive fire hit the amusement park early Wednesday morning. As of 4:30 a.m., the fire was declared under control. No casualties or injuries reported so far. But just to give you a picture of what happened earlier, the massive fire that hit the amusement park, according to the Pasay BFP, started at the stockroom of the Star Games. It quickly spread to other areas since the stockroom houses light materials such as stuffed toys, among others. The fire reached Task Force Bravo past 2 o'clock in the morning and affected major indoor rides and attractions. Apart from this, the building of the Manila Broadcasting Company, or what's considered to be as the oldest broadcasting company in the Philippines, DZRH, was also affected. Operations of its FM radio stations will continue while its AM radio has yet to resume its operations. Meanwhile, park officials say Star City will be closed for the holidays. Its possible target reopening is in October 2020 or the next holiday season to give way for the repairs of its rides and facilities. Riza, investigation is still ongoing and authorities has yet to determine the cost of damages. Riza?
Thank you. That was JC Cosico reporting live from Pasay City. Now here are the biggest stories from the dailies. Filipino Star ngayon reports that a new case of African swine fever has been recorded in Barangay Tatalon, Quezon City. The Agriculture Department confirmed this after dead pigs in the barangay tested positive for the virus. This is the third barangay in Quezon City affected by the disease. Quezon City Mayor Joy Belmonte says they have started culling 60 contaminated pigs. Once this is done, Belmonte believes ASF will be contained in the area. Police personnel who failed to register with COMELEC are now running the risk of facing administrative charges. The Freeman reports that regional police officers are encouraging their men to register and exercise their right to vote. Data shows that out of 10,000 police personnel registered in Central Visayas last year, only 2,000 actually placed their votes. And this from the Philippine Star. A Hong Kong protester was shot in the chest during the clash between the police and the demonstrators yesterday. A police source claims that the officer shot the protester after his unit was attacked. The injured protester was immediately brought to the hospital after receiving first aid. Hong Kong was on a lockdown yesterday after protesters vowed to seize the 70th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China to propel their calls for democracy. Let's fast break now to Sports Rush. Gilas Pilipinas head coach Tim Cone says he is open to extending his mentorship to the national team beyond the SEA Games. However, in an interview with One News Agenda, Cone said he is not 100% confident that he is the right guy for the job. The Samang Basketball ng Pilipinas is still on the lookout for someone who will lead Gilas at the 2023 FIBA World Cup. Now, all things considered, Cone wished the SBP all the best in finding the strongest candidate to take his place after the SEA Games. Meanwhile, in the UAAP, UP Fighting Maroons head coach Bo Perasol was slapped with 3-game suspension. Aside from the standard 1-game suspension, UAAP officials imposed 2 more suspensions on Perasol for, quote, continuous flagrant acts of aggression. The veteran coach charged a referee and uttered explicitives during the UP versus Ateneo match on Sunday. Now, as a result, he was ejected midway the third quarter. Perasol has already apologized for his actions, saying he was triggered by the referee's series of bad calls and was just demanding for a fair game. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again next time for another round of Rush. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.